everyone. I'm Kathy from the Center of Student Affairs, Office of Guidance and Counseling. So I'm one of the guidance counselors. So what I do usually as a guidance counselor, I talk to students. So for what reason? The guidance office actually caters to the holistic development of the students. We try, or as much as we can, we provide them with services or activities that brings out their well-being or potential so they can not only have a successful academic life but also a life that is worth fulfilling beyond the university life. I have questions here that I'm looking forward to answering with you today. So let me read number one. What are the services offered by the guidance office? So can they go to your office to seek advice, especially in their love life? So what I mentioned earlier, so the guidance office, we cater to a lot of people, students, employees. So employees could be faculty, could be mentors, or could be different kinds of employees in the university. We also help with the families of the students. So what do we usually give? We do interviews, we do counseling, we do programs and activities. Not to mention, if you're familiar, if you have attended your Fresh Start, that's also under the Guidance and Counseling Office. So we also help, we also manage the peers. And then, so the question is, can we go to your office to seek advice, especially in love life? O naman, pwede. So we are your support system, just like your mentors. That's usually the contrary to popular belief. When you go to the guidance counselor, iniisip kasi nila may problem siya sa mental health or may mga pinagdadaanan siya. Oo, totoo naman yan. That yes, students would go to us for those reasons, but then again, it's not the only reason. Sometimes you can go to us even with your questions or concerns about the most basic concerns about your life. So that could be your relationships, could be your love life, could be your family, friends, studies. And sometimes then, so it's not just about the presence of a problem. Sometimes students would even go to us because they want to have an absence of a problem. So if they want to balance their healthy way of living, they can actually go to us to maintain those. So I hope that answers your question. So pwede. Kung may problem kayo sa love life, pwedeng pumunta kayo sa amin. But of course, hindi namin kayo kayang tulungan maghanap ng love life. But of course, we can help you to discern yourself in relation to discovering or strengthening your relations, even about your love life. Okay? So number two, any tips to find fulfillment or happiness in being single? When I heard about this question, it's actually a good question, but caveat eto ha. Everyone, regardless of your status, whether you're single, you're married, in a romantic relationship, as a person, you always want to find a fulfilling or a happy life. And how can I answer this? So basically, research, I'll go to research muna. Research would say that it's not about a happy life. Rather, it's about a good life. Good life constitutes three factors or three important areas of your life. So dapat, yung tatlong area na yan, kailangan aware ka, balanse ka. So I'll start with explaining what is a good life. What are those three areas that constitute a good life? One is a happy life. A good life is a happy life. A good life or a happy life is all about personal satisfaction. What makes you feel happy? Is it about your relationships? Is it about your mindset? Is it about your achievement? That's one area of what a good life is all about, finding personal satisfaction. Second is about a meaningful life. So the happy life kasi is all about your personal satisfaction. Once you have achieved that or at least know where you can derive that personal satisfaction as a person who lives in a community or in a society, now you want to go out of yourself. And that is a meaningful life. Nowadays, when I talk to students, usually that's one of their concerns. They will always talk about not only what makes them happy, but also they want to know, how can I make a difference in the world? That is what a meaningful life is all about. They want to know, nasaan ba yung lugar nila sa mundong to? Given their talents, their skills, how can they be of contribution to the others? Usually, they want to know what is their meaning, their purpose, and what capacity they can be of contribution to others. Okay? So the third one, this is actually the most important one and oftentimes the overlooked one. Again, a good life is not only a happy life, a meaningful life, but a psychologically rich life. What does that mean? So a psychologically rich life is about being curious and open to experiences. Siyempre, kung titignan natin, the world is not just about you, what you can contribute. Life happens. Mahirap ang buhay. We have stressors. Sometimes unexpected circumstances will occur. The question is, how will you respond to these challenges? And that is what a psychologically rich life is all about. It's about knowing how to gain wisdom from experiences. I think you have heard the quotation na wisdom is not about getting old. It's not a correlation na mas matanda ka, mas marami kang wisdom. It's not about that. Well, yes, pwede. I mean, for sure. But it's about the ability to find meaning as you go through the experiences. That is a psychologically rich life. Balikan nyo sa buhay nyo at your young age. Look back at the moments you experienced the hardest moments in your life. Aren't those hardest moments what makes you the person you are now? That's actually a psychologically rich life. So, to answer that question, ang haba na, what makes a good life? It's about finding balance of what makes you happy, personal satisfaction, finding what is your meaning or purpose, and lastly, having the ability to gain wisdom to learn how to change perspective with all the experiences that you will learn in life. So next question. What are the common concerns that young adults share about love and relationships? I'll be honest, as a guidance counselor, medyo limited yung capacity ko to answer this. Oftentimes kasi it's really the mentors that students would go to when they talk about love and relationship. But usually, when they do go to us, limited lang ang alam ko, disclaimer to. So, usually about love and relationship, no? Kasi they do want a good life, a happy life. So it's usually about who are the people that are meant for me? Who are my support system? And is there something wrong with me? How come people are not with me? Or how come I don't get those authentic relationship? Or sometimes it's also about students tend to settle and they think that what they have is already enough when in fact they can have something more. I'm not sure if that I'm answering the question, but oftentimes in the guidance office, that's what we usually hear. It's about, again, they feeling unsure if they are meant, if they feel that they deserve or worthy to find those relationships, love or good relationships, or they have this feeling that, no one can be there for them anymore. So therefore, they need to settle for what they have. So eto ang next question. Since Feb 14, alam nyo na, what support can we provide for someone who experiences heartbreak or ghosting? Mahirap sagutin to, sa totoo lang. Pero as a person, let's get out of the profession. But I think as a person, you also know how it is like. So the best way to answer this, again, we are different and our ways can be different. But as far as I know, you can always go back to yourself that if you have experienced the same thing, what support would you need? And probably that will be the answer to that question. Now, if someone, a loved one, a companion, a friend, have experienced heartbreak or ghosting, if you are in their possession, what support can you give them? That's one. But then again, mahirap mag-assume. So maybe you also need to trust the relationship, your relationship to them. You ask them, what support can you provide for them? Heartbroken sila, but it doesn't mean that they don't know what they need. Ask them. And that is where your relationship can be put to the test. And you yourself can be put to the test. Will you be an authentic, true friend? If you can provide for them, or if you cannot, that's also a mark of a good friend by being honest enough to tell them how much you can only provide them. And for those person who feels distress, that's also a mark of a true friend for them if they can respect what you can only provide for them. And then again, to add to that, diba, if you are experiencing heartache or ghosting, it's okay to feel lonely. You should be feeling lonely. But when you feel lonely, it's really a profound sense that you don't deserve to be loved or that you don't deserve to be with people. Therefore, you find yourself isolating. When that happens, what you have to do is to go out more or broaden your social support. What you can do there, so try to reflect, go back to the support that you have or you lack. Studies would say that a support system can be grouped into three. One, who are those support systems that can give you positive distraction? There are moments that if you feel down, distraction can be a good way to cope with it. You don't always have to tackle it straight away. Sometimes you just need to be distracted in a healthy way. So again, sino yung mga tao na pwede kang yayaing lumabas, kumain, tulungan ka mag-aral, or yayain kang mag-explore ng different experiences? So who are those people that can give you positive distraction? Number two, who are those group of people that can provide a safe space for you? Who are those people that you can go to if you need advice, if you just need to let it out without any judgment, or can problem solve with you? So, balikan mo, sino-sino ba yon? Since we are in the university, you know what? UA&P has a lot of support systems available. Can be us, the guidance counselors, can be your mentors, your teachers, your faculty, can even be your org mates, your peers. Who are those people? It's not, again, maraming tao, but it's about how do you know when to utilize them. Lastly, who are those support systems that can provide correction, feedback that can encourage you to grow? Because again, let's go back. You can only grow because of experiences. And sometimes it's also not about experience, but how you would derive meaning towards those experiences. And who are those people who can help you elicit those wisdom? So if you are feeling down, you're lonely because you have felt that someone left you or you had a failed relationship, get more support system. People who can positively distract you, who can give you a safe space, and people who can challenge you to grow. Okay? And I think we're down to the last question. Any tips for students experiencing mental health issues because of their love life? A little bit of insight about this question. A person who is hurt because of a significant loss, whether it's a relationship, a romantic one, family, or whatever it is that have made you feel upset, it's actually natural to feel as if you are experiencing mental health issue. It's actually natural to feel like you're depressed or, to use the right word, lonely. It's okay to feel you're anxious, or the right word, worried. It's okay to feel those feelings. It's okay to show those symptoms like you feel that as if nothing's gonna go right. You feel hopeless, you can't sleep, you can barely function. It's okay to feel those feelings because something upsetting has happened to you. But then again, if you find yourself experiencing symptoms more than 2 weeks, I think it's best really to consult someone like us, the guidance office. Or if you find yourself really barely getting out of bed or your functioning is affected, if those red flags are often persistent or present beyond 2 weeks, better to seek mental health professional. Or if you are in school, go to us. We can help you talk about that. But go back to the question, ganito, I think better really to go back to yourself. When you feel upset or, you feel upset because of a failed relationship or whatever it is that upsets you, it's really good to go back to yourself by be aware on how you handle emotional pain. What's usually your gut reaction when you feel disappointed, rejected, or when you feel that you are not enough or you are a failure? go back to those gut reactions and redirect it when you know it's not healthy for you. That's the first thing. Because again, everyone is different and how you handle it and how you react are different. So maybe that's the first thing that I can tell you. Be aware on how you handle it. If you know it's not healthy, it's not taking the pain away when in fact it even gets worse, redirect it. Number two is, it's hurtful. You should feel hurt. You should feel lonely. But please remember, how you feel is not who you are. And lastly, whatever feelings you feel right now, whether it's negative feelings or happiness or positive feelings, it comes and goes. It's not who you are. Let's go back. So, how do you handle the pain? Listen to your gut reaction and change it. So, probably we can give you a little bit of idea. For example, when we talk about being lonely, usually when you feel lonely, it really distorts your mind, thinking that no one wants you, no one loves you, you don't deserve to be with people. So, therefore, when you're lonely, you actually isolate yourself. And when you find yourself isolated, all the more you will think, no one really loves me. When in fact, it's actually you isolating yourself. So when you feel that you are lonely and the gut reaction is you isolate yourself, that is where the people in your life would come in. Help them help you. Ask them to invite you to go out. Be with people. You don't have to talk about it. Remember those support people who can give you positive or healthy distractions. Maybe you can elicit more of them. Okay? Pero again, ulitin ko when you're lonely, it really distorts your thinking. You don't feel like it. You don't like it. You're not in the mood. You really want to be isolating yourself. Again, ulitin natin, the more that you do that, the more you try to do the opposite. Behavior activation tayo. When you do the behavior, the rest will follow. You will feel good slowly. Okay? So, second one, siguro another example of a negative feeling, failure. Siyempre, when you had a failed relationship, di ba, ako personally or with what I encountered with students, they will start to think of the successive failures that they have in the past. And they will tell themselves, no matter what I do, it's not gonna be good enough. I will never be good enough. And what will happen is that they will stop participating in life. They will stop participating or taking risk with relationships. And actually, that's why there's so many people who finds themselves so frustrated that they will always tell us or me in my sessions with students that, you know what, miss, I know I can do more, pero hindi ko nagawa. Because you know why? Because of that one single failure, they believe that they cannot do everything after that. So what to do? When you feel that you are a failure, you know what? Again, be distracted positively. That's one. Number two, you don't have to engage with that feeling. It's not who you are. It comes and goes. Do something else. Or if you want, list down your accomplishments. Remember the psychologically rich life? You have learned a lot of wisdom because of those hard experiences. If you have track or you can track those experiences because of those bad experiences, go back to it, basahin mo. And you will be comforted by the idea that this could be another entry that I can put that will gain me this wisdom again. Another example could be rejection. Common yan, di ba? Kung ginost tayo, if someone claims that they don't love us back, you feel rejected. What's usually the gut reaction? A person rejected you. You will tell yourself, pangit ko kasi. Hindi kasi ako magaling eh. Or, tama pala talaga yung sinasabi ko sa sarili ko. It doesn't make sense, di ba? Ikaw na nga yung iniwan. Ikaw na nga yung rejected. Sinaktan mo pa sarili mo. It doesn't make sense. But you know what? We do that. So if you do tend to do that, try to do the opposite of it, okay? Self-compassion is very important. How can you do that? Try to imagine yourself. If someone else, a loved one, would feel rejected, what's the first thing that you will say, you will do? You do it for yourself, to yourself. What if, for example, Miss, it feels like I'm pretending when in fact I'm not, I don't really do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You still do it even if you don't feel like it. If a certain behavior you still feel that you're pretending, probably it's not a good behavior or action. You do something else so that it will come naturally for you. Behavior activate, the rest will follow. Okay? Or again, elicit your social support. Sometimes when you feel rejected, you feel the most unattractive, the most unworthy, the most unlovable. That's where the power of your social support would come in. At the end of the day, kung di na kaya, you can just believe that how they see you could be who you are. Or sabi ko nga sa mga students na kasama ko, o mga nakakausap ko, if your mind is not in the right state, huwag mong paniniwalaan sinasabi mo sa sarili mo. Oftentimes, it's not true. So, social support. Okay, so I hope I have answered all your questions. And hey, if you want to set an appointment with us, you can go to CSA. So CSA is located at second floor CAS building. You can look for the guidance counselors there. Or hey, you can also like our Facebook. You can search UA&P Office of Guidance Counseling, or you can send us an email, guidance@uap.asia.com. Have a good day.